Hello, my name is Katie McIntyre, and I'm your host for the podcast, The Loving Cup, Elevate Your Gratitude. And today is Tuesday, January 9th, and I'm live from the FingerLakes1.com studios in Seneca Falls, New York. So welcome. Wanted to start today with a couple of quotes from the author Roy T. Bennett, who wrote The Light in the Heart. So first he says, being grateful does not mean that everything is necessarily good. It just means that you can accept it as a gift. Each day brings new opportunities, allowing you to constantly live with love, be there for others, bring a little light into someone's day, be grateful, and live each day to the fullest. And last but not least, I think this is my favorite one, be the reason someone smiles, be the reason someone feels loved, and believe in the goodness in people. So with that, I would like to welcome my guests today, Sandra Shutter and her daughter, Lexi Shutter, both from Auburn. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you,
Thank
Katie.
you.
Thank you for having us.
We're glad you're here. So I like to start off with having my guests introduce the other. So Sandy, why don't you introduce us to your daughter?
Okay. My daughter, Lexi, her given name is Alexandra, but we all call her Lexi. She is 31 years old, and she's my firstborn, and she's awesome. She is just a wonderful person. She is very caring yet organized, and she has a wonderful job at Cuga Centers. She's the director of respite services.
Support programs. Thank you. I never get it right.
And she started with Cuga Centers the day after she graduated from Binghamton, summa cum laude. So, awesome. So I'm so proud of her, and because I was a single mom, so Lexi, being the older one, really took on a lot of responsibilities when her dad and I split up, and she really was awesome. We had our moments because she was a teenager,
as all mothers
and but she's a wonderful, wonderful human being and daughter.
Do you have a nickname for her? Do you have a nickname for her?
Lexi.
Perfect.
Lexi, or Summa Precious.
Perfect. So Lexi, will you introduce us to your mom, Sandy?
Yes. My mom is a wonderful artist. She, I think, can speak to people through her art. And she speaks to people in a very emotional and personal way. And it's also very easy to tell how she's feeling by the art that she's doing. So my sister and I kind of know where she's at that moment.
On my face.
She has definitely made me who I am today. Yeah. I'm going to start to get emotional. But she's strong and funny and witty and very generous and very vocal. So
beautiful. Beautiful. Great. So let's think back. We just finished 2017. I've heard lots of people talk about how they're so glad it's not 2017 anymore. But I want you to think about 2017 and tell me what you're most grateful for from that year. And either of you can answer first.
I think that 2017 was an interesting year. But I think the things that stick out for me, I have owned my home for a year now.
Congratulations.
So that's very exciting. I did it on my own with the support of my family, so that's something I'm very grateful for. I haven't burned it down. It's still there. We hosted the second annual family Christmas party at my new home, and it went off wonderfully.
Epic.
Epic. So I'm very grateful for all the family that came to keep that tradition going. And I'm very grateful for my job and all of the families that we've been able to serve and support this year in our community.
That's great.
Awesome. 2017 was a really strange year, an awesome year, yet a very troubling year near the end. So it started out wonderfully. I had my first show, first art show at the National Women's Historical Park. Thank you to Katie, who alerted me they were looking for a woman artist for the March show. So I sent in my work, and I was accepted, and it was wonderful. And I'm so grateful to Katie. Is one thing I'm grateful for
Sweet.
telling me about it. And it was really awesome to be there. And from that show, I had a couple more shows. So I had a show in where else? The Seward House in Auburn and the Center in Auburn, and it was just a wonderful year. I've learned so much, and I've become more confident in myself, in my work, actually, because it's hard as an artist to put yourself out there in your art, because people, I feel, tend to judge things, which is just human nature, and people's perspectives are different, but I'm beginning to roll with it. Like, not everybody's the same, and people are going to, like different things. And regards to my family, I am so grateful that I have my mom is still with us. I'm grateful that
Is she watching?
I'm really grateful that Lexi is so giving and opened her home for our Christmases, because we are from a Polish heritage, and Christmas Eves are always really a special time for us. Like we have a lot of cousins, and my grandmother, Lexi's great grandmother, passed away not 2017, 2016 in November. So Lexi just took over the Christmas Eve, and it was really special for everyone, because Grandmama was 99 when she died.
Oh, bless her.
Right? So, it wasn't a big surprise, but, it's still, as you know, it's still hard to lose somebody. But 99 years is a good run. So, so Lexi took that over, and it was wonderful. She's a wonderful hostess. And I'm also grateful my other daughter, Chloe, went out to Madison, Wisconsin for an internship at a place called Geo's Garden, which specializes in respite programs for children from birth to 6 years old with developmental disabilities. And she was an intern there, and then they hired her. So I'm grateful they hired her, and I'm so happy she has a great job, but we miss her terribly. Mm-hmm. But, Madison is a great town. I went out to visit her, and so is Lexi. And I'm really grateful for that. And I'm grateful I have to get my sister and my mom in there.
Absolutely.
I'm so grateful for my sister. We love you, Aunt Sharon. So, yeah, that's what I'm grateful for this year. I'm grateful for you, too, Katie. I'm grateful for you.
Ditto. I know we took a road trip to Albany, took your artwork on the road to our capital.
That was fun.
That was fun.
That was another epic time.
So Sandy does a lot of art related to women's suffrage and the suffrage centennial. So really perfectly fitting for this area, especially for Seneca Falls. So you do some great inspiring things.
Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome. So if you think about your life in general, what is something that you're most grateful for from your whole entire life?
I have to say, would you say that, well, I'm grateful to even be alive, to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. I had a massive heart attack, too, when I was 38.
Wow.
Nobody ever figured out why. I personally think it was my old boss, but I don't know. We lived in Binghamton at the time, so it was just us. How old were you? 16?
Yeah.
15?
I think I was 15.
Lexi was 15, so her sister would have been 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was us, and because our family is all up here, and it was pretty scary. Talk about near-death experiences. It is absolutely, I believe it's absolutely true that there's something beyond us that is really wonderful and peaceful, because I was there. And so I went to the hospital. Lexi had just gotten home, and they kept me there for a few hours and said, "Oh, it's pleurisy, go home." I'm like, okay. So it happened 1 week later, and it happened on September 10th, 2001. I went back in the hospital, same thing, and was in the emergency room for probably 7 hours. While all the people I worked with at Sears took care of my children.
Wow.
The whole time. And finally somebody checked a cardio enzyme test, and they discovered, oh my God, you're having a heart attack. And they took me up to the angioplasty and did it right there. And while I was in the operating room, and while I was, incapacitated that day and beyond, my coworkers at Sears, I can't say enough how grateful I am to them. To this day, on the day I had the heart attack, I always put out there on Facebook, thank you. They took care of my children. They fed them. They stayed with them until my family could get here. So the next day, I'm laying in the cardio care unit, which is the spa of the hospital, I have to say. And I'm watching the news, and
it's 9/11.
9/11, and all hell broke loose. My brother couldn't get home. People were afraid. And these poor children. I mean, Lexi, you were 16. So I'm grateful to be alive. I'm talking a lot about myself, but that is what I'm more.
But that's what you're here for. Mm-hmm. I want to hear.
I'm very grateful that I'm alive, and that I'm going to be. I was here for the girls because I love them so much, and we have so much fun together. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for that, because I could see. I don't want to say the other side, but I was It was what you're hovering over your body. It's a true thing. I truly believe it. So that's what I'm grateful for.
Okay, top that one, Lexi.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I'm surprised you didn't say my epic line, "Is she dead?"
Oh, that's what I know. When I found her. I heard her. I kind of heard her. I was like, oh. And the paramedics were already there. Lexi was out doing something, probably.
Did you call the
I did. I was able to call the paramedics, and then I was on the floor, and I was laying there, and I was floating away, and I heard Lexi, "Is she dead? Is my mom dead?" Running up the
funny
stairs.
Now, but I don't even remember saying it.
It's unfiltered and raw.
Right. It just that's all I could think. Coming home and not knowing what was going on, and that's the first thing that came out. That was a very, very intense experience. Yeah. Okay, so top that. Let's see.
No.
I think that, the thing that I'm most grateful for in my whole life is I'm very, very fortunate to have so many strong women in my life. My mother's side of the family, it's all women. It's all very strong, classy, opinionated, humorous women. And I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be where I am today, if it wasn't for all of them. I was very fortunate to have both of my great-grandmothers in my life for many, many years. And both of my grandmothers in my life for a very long time. I still have my mom's mom, and over the past couple of years, we've lost my father's mother and both of my great-grandmothers. But I can sometimes see the things that I do and the way I relate to people and how I handle things, and I see them. It's a very interesting experience at times because I stop and go, oh my gosh, that's Grandmama coming through. It's, oh boy. So I'm very grateful for all of the strong women in my life, my family.
I don't know if I can go on from there. It's beautiful.
So tell me about something that you're most grateful for in the other. So do you want to go first, Sandy? Something about Lexi that you're most grateful for. And you could also say it for Chloe start. Too, if you wanted. So Chloe got a shout out.
Okay. I don't know where to start. I'm grateful Lexi is my daughter. I was a young mother, like 22, 23, and I'm grateful that I didn't always make the best decisions. I think as mothers, it's hard to know if you're doing the right thing, and I guess it could have gone a couple ways. We had a tough relationship during certain times. I think we both grew up a lot when we moved away from our family in Auburn, and we were kind of by ourselves. But on the other hand, we can laugh about it. I mean, we talk about it now and we laugh about it. So I'm grateful for her because I've told her this before, and she said, Mom, stop. You're a good mom. I'm like, I could have done this, I could have done that better. And she's like, no, stop. So I'm grateful for her for that, because it alleviated a little bit of my anxiety over that. Like, what did I put my poor children through? Why did you have to go and have a heart attack? What's your problem? Yeah, but it's like those poor girls. Right. Oh, so I'm grateful for her and her we just have a good time together. We have so many memories that are good and bad, but the bad ones, somehow we twist them to be fun, and they teach to be funny. And my other daughter, I'm grateful for her because she's just our little Chloe. There's 8 years difference between them, so she works with newborn disabled children. One of them, she told me, doesn't have eyeballs. So I'm like, oh my gosh,
big heart.
Yeah, I'm grateful for her big heart.
Okay. And how about for you, Lexi?
I think that I'm most grateful for, the humor, really. I think that I know that many people wouldn't have been able to make it through what we have, as a family, as women together. The fights we've had, everything that we've been through, we wouldn't have the relationship we have today if we couldn't laugh about it, if we couldn't mend things with humor. And because of that, we can move on. And I think that's what I'm most grateful for. Bad things happen, but if you try to, move on, learn from them, laugh about them, talk about them, heal from them, life is so much better. And I think that's what I'm most grateful for.
She's so wonderful and eloquent. Oh my gosh.
She's beautiful.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm great. I have one more thing
Absolutely.
I'm grateful for. Speaking of humor, we have this whole little language between the three of us, like with all our favorite movies. We're like Lord of the Rings
And
our aunt Sharon, our geek, our geekly, and we can joke all the time and speak in all sorts of elvish tongues, and I mean, we just are. It's the one thing really that kind of brought us together when we were down in Binghamton going through kind of like a little hell. Yeah. We were like, oh my God, the next Lord of the Rings is coming out.
Yeah.
And we would be, I know. So I'm like, I'm grateful for our humor. We have this little thing, and it's really special to us.
It's beautiful. So, did you think about gratitude before today?
I think about it, but I think to talk about it and recognize it is very different than watching the news and saying, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for everything that I have, or I'm so grateful, the thoughts that you just have come in your head, every day. But to really sit down and recognize them and acknowledge them is very different. It's not something I've really thought about on this level. So it's very therapeutic.
It really is. I love you.
I love you too.
So you made a face when I asked the question, so go ahead, give me your answer.
What was the question again?
What was the question,
before
Alex?
Today, did you think about gratitude?
Well, I have to say that the older I get, the more I think about it. I think when you're younger, yes, you're grateful, you watch the news, you're grateful for, but my gosh, you're busy. You're so busy. What I'm really grateful for, and this is why I try to involve myself in a lot of women's issues, like the committee for the march that's happening here next Saturday, Dining for Women, and others, arts councils and whatnot, is because I'm so grateful that I was able to work for so long. Because 24 years ago, I was diagnosed with MS. So I worked a long time. And then it just got to be, I couldn't do it anymore. The hours are relentless. They're brutal. 12-hour days. Not to say I kind of ran the store like we ran the house. Yeah. Right.
But it's retail now.
Right. Right. And I'm like, So I was able to retire, and I had certain benefits with Sears, and every day I'm grateful that I was able to do that and be able to have time to do those things that I do with women's groups and arts groups, and because a lot of people that have MS are in wheelchairs. A lot of people can't even walk upstairs, and I'm every day grateful that I can still get around. I'm slow, but it doesn't matter. I still get there. So
still walk the dogs.
Still walk those dogs. Spoiled brat.
Well, they like to be out and get moving, and
they do
explore and do their stuff.
Yes.
It was a little tough with the below zero,
isn't it? Yeah, we can.
Yes, and we have a husky, and so she'll just go, and she loves to be outside all the time. But it's the humans that need to go with her.
Right, I know. Well, our dogs are little. They're little lap dogs, so they can't go out.
No, they get cold really fast.
They'll freeze to death.
Yeah, they need to borrow Sitka's fur coat.
Yeah.
So we talked about family, and I think family is a beautiful thing because family supports you in good times and in bad. They pick you up when you need to be picked up. They tolerate things when you maybe won't even tolerate yourself. And I'm sure that there's lots of stories from your relationship that you've had great days and not so great days. And I wanted to ask if you had a favorite memory of something you've done together, time spent together that you want to share, that just like is like the penultimate experience.
Oh boy. Jeez.
The first. No.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many. There's so many times, but but I think it's the times that aren't huge, that aren't the
day-to-day.
Yeah. I remember a couple of years ago, we went out to eat. I think it was for my aunt's birthday, and we love to shop. We are consumers big time. And my mom, my aunt, my sister, and I all went shopping after. And I drove. So my aunt, when we were done, she went her separate way, and it was myself, my mom, and my sister in my car. And we all, I still have the picture on my Facebook today. And it's a memory that I will always remember. And the picture we weren't doing anything special. We were singing, we were being silly, we had tried on makeup, and we all ended up, we have the same sunglasses on, the same hairdo, the same lipstick out of all the lipstick in Ulta. And I said, okay, we're going to take a picture, and we all made the same face. And it's just, it's such a small, silly, not important memory, I guess, but it's so important because it's not, I don't know, it just happened. It
wasn't forced. It wasn't.
Right, and it wasn't, we have such great memories on vacations and stuff like that, but those are the memories you expect to really stand out, and this is the one that really stands out for me. Yeah. The kind of unexpected memory that I think I will have forever. I refuse to take that picture down.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a great day.
It was a great
But it sounds like a memory of like, if someone asked you a question, how do you know you're where you need to be, or how do you know you belong? It's like that.
Yes.
That could be the picture that explains it for you.
Yes.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah. It's a great
I love
picture.
that. How about for you, Sandy?
Well, we had another dog.
Oh, geez.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
I have to talk about her.
Okay.
Genevieve.
Genevieve.
And she was a tiny little peekapoo. She was the runt of the litter. My mom got her for us, and we got her when we were in Binghamton, so you could literally hold her in the palm of your hand. Well, Genevieve had a lot of health problems. She had to have a pacemaker put in when she was 6 years old.
Oh, gosh.
It's like a tiny little Lego.
Yes, it was. In Cornell, I can't say enough about that. Oh, my gosh. If only they treated people that nicely in hospital. Oh, my God, they're wonderful. Do you have to edit that out?
No, you're fine.
So she was only 6, and people are like, what are you doing that for? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I am not letting this little dog die. I don't care. I don't care, right? Yes. We were distraught. We loved her. So she had her pacemaker, and she lived 6 more years, and she ended up having pulmonary hypertension, which she had to have Viagra. Wow. Twice a day, a little tiny bit of it shot into her mouth, and she lasted another 2 years. So was she? I think she was 12, so I got the math mixed up a little. But anyways, she passed away one night, and everybody came. And we were all crying. We loved her. We loved her. But the next day, we put her in a cooler. And the next day...
Just a regular cooler, okay?
And the next day, we had plans before to go see Bridesmaids. So my sister and myself and Lexi and Chloe went to see Bridesmaids, and I thought I was going to die laughing. I mean, we laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. I mean, the movie's funny, but I think all that emotion was able to come out that way because we decided, well, we're still going to go because we have to do something fun. I was laughing where I couldn't even get any sounds out of my mouth anymore.
It was hilarious. I wish I could do the impression. I can't. I've tried.
I remember Lexi saying, "Oh my God, Mom's doing that laugh again." I was like,
it's where she laughs so hard that she's wheezing, so you worry for a second. Is she breathing?
Like,
but
oh no, she's not.
She's having another heart attack.
She's all right.
Man down.
Yep, that's a great memory.
That's one of the best ones.
So, we talked. So I have some other questions, but we talked about a lot of the things that I asked you about. So I wanted to see if there's anything else that you want to share.
Wow, I don't know.
I'm very grateful for. I've lost my train of thought. Even though whatever is going on now and whatever political views you have or whatnot, it really comes down to, like you said, being kind to other people. I'm very conscious when I go through the day, no matter what I'm doing or where I am, to hold the door open for somebody, to just smile and say thank you or hi, I mean, it can be really depressing going out into the world sometimes because a lot of people don't make an effort.
Right.
And I'm trying to bring common courtesy back to the world one little tiny bit at a time. Not that everybody's like that, but you run into somebody every day that maybe isn't, maybe they're having a bad day, so I try to be even nicer to them. Of course, I have a lot of experience in dealing with irate customers and things like that, people who aren't happy, right?
Yes.
That, I don't know, I have that skill set in me, so, but I don't think I do it because of that. I think I just want people, I don't know, to get along. I think that's the bottom line. What is so hard about being nice to somebody?
Right.
Like all it takes is a second.
Yeah.
So.
I like that.
Yeah, and I think what I was going to say, one of the quotes that you read, be the reason someone smiles today. If anyone from that works for me is watching, which they probably are because they know I'm doing this, that is plastered everywhere. I have that quote in my office. I have it in the programs. I think it's so important to remember to be nice to other people. The smallest thing can change someone's day, someone's life. And I'm very grateful anytime someone says, "Thank you so much, Lexi. Oh my gosh, you guys were wonderful," or, it makes you feel better. It does.
That's awesome. So that does bring us to the end of our time together today. So I just want to read that quote again, Lexi, so that everyone remembers. So be the reason someone smiles. Be the reason someone feels loved and believes in the goodness in people. So that's your charge, everyone watching. So thank you, Sandy and Lexi, for coming in and being the guest today. And to my viewers, I just want to say have a beautiful day. Savor your blessings. We'll be back next week with 2 more guests, and that'll be on January 16th. And if you or someone you know would be a great guest on my show, please let me know. You can contact me through Finger Lakes One or find me on Facebook. And until then, I hope that 2018 is your best year yet.